Shalom, shalom, shalom. Giving all the praise, honor, and infinite glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honor to the beloved apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well and who I learn from daily. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four corners of the earth. You Israelite foreigners like unto a speckled bird. Shalom to you sincere Akim on the highways and byways doing lessons and videos week in and week out in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you sincere Akwath who's listening in silence as the scriptures command you to do so. This is your brother Isaiah Allah back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, I pray this is edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You are the biblical Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. The name of your God, your power, his name is YAHAWAH. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning is, he exists, BAHASHAM, coming in the name, and who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name in the Hebrew is YAHAWASHI. Yah meaning he, Hawashai meaning savior or deliverer. All praises, all honor, and all infinite glory. And so we're going to get right into this one, brothers and sisters. Lord willing, I pray this is edifying through the spirit. You know, we got some news and just a couple of precepts pertaining to what's happening right now with America, you know, which is codenamed in the scriptures as Babylon the Great. All right, because this is going to be the land of great judgment and great destruction that's going to happen to this place, particularly because of what they've done to the apple of the Heavenly Father's eye, you Israelites. Okay? And so right now, prophecy is speaking. Things are stirring up more and more as time goes on. We're seeing now these what YAHAWASHI spoke about in the book of Matthew chapter 24. And let's actually get that. More and more rumors of wars are coming about. All right, they're transitioning more into the times that we're in of no longer being just a rumor. All right, and these are just the signs that YAHAWASHI told us to look for as men of the Lord, to prophesy to our people, to let them know to set their house in order. And so this is Matthew 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. And so these are just the beginning of sorrows that are going to manifest here on the planet Earth, mainly here in America, Babylon the Great. But these rumors of wars are spiking. I mean, we got like right now, like on this article, which I was reading this morning on End Time Headlines, as you can see, 11 U.S. warships and 15,000 troops now in the Caribbean as Venezuela tensions reach boiling point. Now, as this is escalating and as this is happening, all right, Venezuela isn't backing down. All right, America, Babylon the Great, you know, as the scriptures call it, the hammer of the earth. Because all they've done is constantly, repetitively making it seem like everybody else around them is the bad guy, and then they go within their territory, within their country, and rape, rob, and pillage their resources. This is the same plan that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has always done, and now, right now, they're trying. There's no different right here. They're doing the exact same thing and the exact same playbook that they've done, and pushing it forth with war. This is what these devils love to occupy themselves in, man. All right, because they're the sword of the Heavenly Father. Their whole job is to take peace from the earth, and they've done that, and they're continuously doing that right now, man. All right, 90% of the time, America has been a country. They've been at war. They don't know the ways of peace. And this is what they're doing, man, because if it's not their way, if you don't accept their terms or their way, then they come and they rape, rob, pillage, and kill and steal everything that you have, man. And all this is about oil, because Venezuela right now has the most oil, man. All right. It's the same thing that they did in the war of Iraq. Real quick, just to get you some information on that, man. This is why, but all this is coming out right now on these devils. All this truth and everything is coming out because all wars are bankers' wars. This is what these devils delight in, and this is what they have to do. All right, and they push forth, they use propaganda to make it seem like what they're doing is righteous, saying that there's drug boats. All right. And this is why you got Pete Hegseth at the head of Donald Trump pushing forth all these decrees to say bomb them, kill them all. All right. To make it seem like they're the bad guys. Put just innocent boats, man. All right. Not proving that there's drugs on any of these boats. When we know that a majority of the drugs that come in this country, the CIA is the head of it, man. They're the ones that they're the ones that push forth. They're the ones that flood all and traffic all these drugs that come into this country, man. So what I asked ChatGPT on here, brothers and you sincere sisters, who did the U.S. said had weapons of mass destruction? They never did. All right. So essentially, like, who did the U.S. claim that they had weapons of mass destruction, but they never did? All right, I worded that all messed up, so Salakia for that. But of course, ChatGPT knew what I was talking about. The primary example is Saddam Hussein / Iraq. The U.S. government claimed that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, chemical, biological, nuclear, before invading in 2003. And what happened, officials in the U.S., including George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Colin Powell, and others, repeatedly stated that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction or was producing them. After the invasion, through thorough investigations, including by the Iraq Survey Group, found no evidence of active WMD stockpiles or recent production programs. In short, the U.S. said Iraq had WMD, which is the acronym Weapons of Mass Destruction, after the war. That turned out not to be true, right? Because these devils are like their blessing is the sword. And this is how they lead. This is how they go forth. They go into they'll forge a lie, forge a whole story, all right, and then use that push forth to get to twist the minds of the people, and then go in and take everything that you have by war, and then set up their garrisons there, and then make it seem like everybody else is the enemy, but really it's the so-called white people, the liars, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And it's no different here, and pertaining to what's happening right now with Venezuela. But this is gonna reach a boiling point, Lord willing, to transition to the Third World War. Because now if they're doing this with Venezuela, Russia is gonna intervene, man. And we know what the scriptures say pertaining to the prophecies, that Russia is gonna be a guard to these nations, and it's happening right now, right in front of our face, man. And Venezuela's not scared. They're not backing down. They're setting up everything, man. Okay. Real quick, pertaining to what I stated earlier about these devils, this is what they do. They covet fields. They take people's heritage. They take your resources, and they want Venezuela's oil. The same thing that they wanted with the Iraqi the war in Iraq. They wanted their oil. It's no different right here, man. It's all Esau's playbook. All right. This is how these devils get down. But now the Heavenly Father, Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, has revealed them. This is Micah chapter 2. And verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence. All right. This devil, like he said, his blessing is the sword. All right. The bloody, deceitful man that delight in war. And so this is what they do. They lead with violence. They're like, and right now, this is just a war talk. They'll bomb you like they did with these boats. All right. To show their strength, to show their arm, to like, if you don't do what we say, then we're going to come in, then we're going to invade your land. And that's what that article is pertaining to, which we're going to go and read that in just a moment. But Micah 2:2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. This is what they do. They're always, America has always been in everybody else's business but their own, man. All right. This is what the scriptures talks about in Revelation chapter 17, that whore that sits upon the beast, that sits upon the dragon, man. All right. With the 7 heads and 10 horns, which that 7 heads and 10 horns is representation of NATO, because America is that whore, because it runs NATO. All right. That sits upon many waters. All right. The waters being the peoples, nations, and tongues. They're always going about raping and taking everybody's resources. By what? By using the sword. And this is what's happening right now. through the Spirit of the Lord, now they're being revealed. And so Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to flip it on them because they're no longer he's stirring up these nations. They're no longer afraid of the oppressor. All right. The hammer of the earth. It's all being broken right now. And so let's read this article real quick because it's a short one. And then I got a video clip I want to play a little bit of. More than 10 U.S. warships, including the country's largest carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, are bearing down on the Caribbean amid escalating tensions between President Trump and Venezuela. A Marine Expeditionary Unit capable of an amphibious land invasion has also been deployed as part of efforts to stem the flow of drugs into the U.S. from the socialist country. All right, and real quick, I was Googling this right here. All right, because they're saying they're saying the flow of drugs into this country is from Venezuela, which is all bullshit. All right. And like I said, everything stems from the CIA, man. They're the ones that control all of this, man. Because Esau, Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. They are the ones in power and controlling all this, and they know who's funding all these drugs and manufacturing all this, man. All right. Like, for example, right here, it says most illicit drugs enter into the United States predominantly come from or through Mexico, with precursor chemicals for synthetic drugs largely originating in China and to a lesser extent India. All right, like fentanyl, so on and so forth. Heroin, cocaine comes from South America. And so what they want from Venezuela is their resources. This is why they're coming forth with lies and saying that the flow of drugs is coming from that, predominantly from that country. It's all BS, man. This is how this devil gets down. All right. The military's job is to defend the homeland. Secretary of the Navy John Fillon told Fox News on Saturday night, "That's exactly what we're doing, and we're using our best assets to defend the homeland." All right, and defend them from and this is how you know, bro. These devils delight in war. But they're the ones that's going over there, man. They're the ones that's going in all these places and setting up garrisons. This is these people they're insane, man. They're the bloody and deceitful men. And they got you people and you Babylonians fooled and tricked, man. All right? Always in everybody's business. Always doing what they have to do to take. Because the scriptures describe them, they can never have enough, man. Drugs kill more Americans than we've ever lost in wars, he said. So I think at the end of the day, the president has correctly identified this as an attack on the country, which it is. Among the 11 warships currently in the Caribbean, in the USS Ford, which houses the carrier strike group featuring 9 carrier air wings, are more than 70 aircraft, including squadrons out of Virginia, Florida, and Washington State. Other ships deployed to the region include the USS Salaki, brothers. I just wanted to see something if I was recording. I was like, hopefully I'm recording. Salaki. The USS IWO Jamia, a WASP-class amphibious assault vehicle capable of carrying up to 6 Harrier II attack aircraft. The USS Gravely and the USS Stockdale, 2 naval-guided missile destroyers, are currently operating in the Caribbean, along with the larger guided missile cruisers, the USS Lake Erie and the USS Gettysburg, and up to 2,200 Marines based out of Camp Lejeune and Marine Corps Air Base New River in North Carolina are also stationed in the Caribbean. All right, and this is, of course, the original location of that article. Let me get this out the way. Salakia. Right here. And this is what's happening right now. All right. But they're going for their resources, man. They're gathering these troops and they're getting ready, and this is going to cause a ripple effect because this is going to backfire on a Babylon the Great, because it's going to cause other nations to intervene, but mainly Russia. You got Russia right now. Putin is talking about he's ready for war against Europe. All right, because NATO is threatening Putin. But of course, the Russians are not afraid because the Lord is gathering them hooks in their jaws. The prophecy of Ezekiel chapter 38, and bringing them back to that Soviet Union, man. All right. And this is going to transition to that Third World War. Nobody is scared of you Babylon of America anymore, man, because they're strength. They're trying to make it and push it forth like they're strong, but the Lord is literally breaking Babylon the Great strength, man, and raising the strength of these other nations. because of everything that these devils have done, man. All right? All these ads and stuff. Let me just get rid of this. Salakia. And I just closed the video clip that I needed. Let me go back to it. See if I can find it here. Let me just go to his channel. On the Snyder Report. And we'll play this real quick. Because this is, I want you to hear this. All right? This is what they're this is what this is all about. Let's play it. And this is a fair use. All right? I'm not getting paid for this. All right, I'm just reporting this information. So I know how you devils get down. So let's play a little bit of this. Listen up.
It's up for debate. I want to play you something else, though. Listen to this right here.
Former CIA guy Mike Baker joins me now. Mike, President Trump has reportedly told Maduro to leave Venezuela to protect himself and his family. I imagine that the CIA is talking to Venezuela's generals to see where they stand on Maduro's exit. Is the CIA right in the middle of this in Caracas?
Well, they're in the middle of it in the sense of, providing intel, analysis, whatever support the White House asks in terms of pursuing national security interests and priorities. Look, there have been reports, most unverified, that Maduro had reached out over the course of the past week and a half or so to potentially float the idea of his departure and his possibly immediate family and possibly some close senior personnel around him. Whether that's true or not, it really is the goal of this entire situation, right? Is to get him to make that decision on his own.
One thing I want to just come out and say, and this is one of the things that we learned last night, is that the reports were indicating that Nicolas Maduro was not only asking President Trump in the phone call this past week, he wasn't just asking to keep his family safe, but also some senior level advisors safe as well. But according to the reports, and again, we don't know, we're still getting this information. It's coming out very slow because President Trump wants to keep this pretty much behind closed doors first. He wants to solve the problem. He doesn't want everything leaking. But according to the reports, Nicolas Maduro asked President Trump that, yes, he could leave and he would transfer the power over to the opposing party. But he still wanted to make sure that the Cuban group is the one that's going to control the military. President Trump said no. That's pretty much a non-starter. Let's keep listening to this, though, because, again, what he says at the end of this, in around a minute, is huge. Listen to this.
Or to get his circle of advisors to tell him, now it's time for you to go.
Do you have any doubt that one way or another, Maduro goes and goes soon?
Yeah, I don't see how he keeps this going. I mean, I think he's also looking at the idea of, does Venezuela have any leverage? Does his regime have any leverage, a card to play, perhaps? And that would, of course, be revolving around the oil, right? That's their top resource. Now,
Just right there. That's it. Their top resource. This is what the U.S. wants, man. This is what they want. And if they're not going to receive it, if they're not going to get their way because they're the bully of the planet, they're gonna attack. That's it, man. This is what this is about, man. This is what this whole situation is about, and this is what Esau wants to do, man. Because this is who they are. Like, this is how they've always been, and this is how they've always invaded. But now it's going to backfire on them, right, through the Spirit of the Lord, man. Okay? And we're seeing it right now. We're seeing all these rumors manifest, man, because these nations are now going to gather together against Babylon the Great, against the bully of the planet Earth, man. Because YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to break that. He's the one that's going to break them down, man. Okay? A quick precept before I get the ones that I want. This is Jeremiah 50:23. How was the hammer of the earth, of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right? That's going to be the end of America. This is like Babylon the Great. It's going to be by nuclear fire, by thermonuclear destructions. But at the same time, the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is systematically breaking the spirit of Babylon. All right? Put it, as the scripture said in Isaiah 19, he's put a perverse spirit within Egypt. All right? Got them thinking that they can do the exact same thing that they've always done over the years against these nations. But no, the Lord is taking out that hammer away. He's removing their hegemony in their mind. That's why they're just doing things now, because they want those resources. But the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has you devils in a trick bag, man. And this is how Esau's always operated. All the time, man. This is Psalms chapter 36. We're going to begin at verse 3. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. That's because they delight in war. These are the like they have to use that sword. They have to kill, steal, rape, rob, because their spirit is not upright in them. All right, that's the same thing in this precept that is said in Micah chapter 2. All right, they sleep not except they have done mischief. Man, they had and what it says in Proverbs chapter 4. But they can't go. They have to think up evil and think of different ways to get their way, man. This is why we have a child ruling over us, and this is why Yahawashi has to remove them completely out of power. Completely out of power, because with his mouth he lays up iniquity with his propaganda, making it seem like what they're doing that is true wisdom, and what they're doing is righteous and good, but it's pure evil. They don't know how to rule the planet Earth with true righteousness and rule the planet and with the nations, treating the nations fair, doing the nations like doing right by the nations. And this is why I did this is going to backfire on them, because all they've done is attack and rape, rob, and pillage the nations. And so it's going to turn on them. It's going to turn on their own head, man. All right. And they don't rule the planet Earth with just. Now this is Isaiah chapter 5. Yeah, we'll read it in the KJV first, but I wanted to read this in the AMP. Isaiah chapter 5 and 8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And this is what the Edomites do, man. Their inward thought is that their house shall continue forever. All right. They go house to house, place to place, field to field, raping and taking everything, taking all their resources. And this is what they want to do with Venezuela, man. Now in the AMP Bible, the Amplified version, it says, woe, judgment is coming to those who join house to house and join field to field, to increase their holdings by depriving others. Is not what these devils are doing right now? This is like with the war, what they're doing. They're calling it the war on drugs, which is all BS. They're depriving them of their natural resource that they have an abundance in, which is oil. The same thing they did with Iraq. Until there is no room, Salakia, until there is no more room for others, so that you have to live alone in the midst of the land. All right. And then they've done this by using the sword. That's in Isaiah chapter 6. I mean, Salakia, Revelation 6, by taking peace from the earth, man. And they're sharpening that sword right now. That's why they're the boats that they claim have drugs, they're just killing them all. They're not going check in, so on and so forth, because this is not about drugs. Like we've gone over in this lesson, man. Okay? This is Psalms chapter 40. Psalms chapter 140. And beginning at verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, from the evil man, Esau. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war, because the way of peace they don't know. All right. They constantly push that propaganda and push that in their legislations and their meetings, but really they don't. Like the war is constantly in this man's heart, because that's who he was created to be, man. Verse 3, they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. Adder is An adder is a serpent. It's a form. It's a form of a snake, man. And their poison is their legislations, their decrees, their philosophies, their way of thinking, man. Which is it? Which is their heart, which is their mind. And so if they're constantly thinking about war, that's all they're going to be gathered together for war. They're going to find any way in order to bring forth a war. And that's what's going to happen, because that's prophecy. The Third World War is coming quickly. This is what we're seeing right now, man. The beginning stages of that. All right. Everybody's amping up. Everybody's getting ready. All the talks are happening, like I read at the beginning of Matthew 24, the rumors. Why? Because this man, his blessing was the sword, so he's going to live by the sword and he's going to die by the sword, like YAHAWASHI stated. All because he can't have enough. He already has the planet, all right, but he's not ruling the planet in the righteousness of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Okay, and these nations aren't afraid anymore, man. But let me get this real quick. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 5, and Salakia, chapter 2, and verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, that wine being symbolic for, like going back to what I just read in Psalm 140, is also synonymous with the poison, his philosophies, like his way of thinking, which stems from the left-hand side. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, always in everybody else's business. That's why I brought it out in Isaiah chapter 5, man. Always going to these other nations to steal their resources of what they have, man. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. He brings nothing beneficial to the planet. Nothing beneficial to the table, man. And cannot be satisfied. That's right. He can't have enough. The Edomites, it doesn't matter what goes on, what they have. They already have the planet. The earth was given to them, the fatness of the earth, but it's still not enough to satisfy his soul. That's why in verse 4, it says the spirit is not upright in him. He's never going to be satisfied. That's why YAHAWASHI, like I stated, has to remove these devils completely out of power. And they have to be exterminated after they serve us for 1,000 years. But gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Ergo, why America is a big melting pot. And why they have garrisons everywhere on the planet, man. That's how you know that like this is Babylon the Great, who sits upon many waters. He has so many garrisons across everywhere on the planet, man. America has the most. All right, let me prove that. All right, so in AI overview, America has over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries and territories across the planet. Though the exact number is debated and some data is not publicly released by the Pentagon, these bases exist on every continent except Antarctica and serve strategic purposes, including projecting power and supporting military operations. You see? The hammer of the earth, man. The hammer of the earth. Y'all want to say this is not Babylon the Great? This is what these scriptures are talking about, man. Jeremiah 50, Revelation 17, Jeremiah 51. This is America, man. This is Babylon the Great. Around 750 to 800 military sites are estimated to be in operation. They're everywhere, man. In everybody's business. That's why this is the hammer of the whole earth. Now, continuing on in Habakkuk, I'm going to skip down to the verse 8, all right? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And so, because you've destroyed many nations, you're doing the same thing, the same playbook right now. It's going to turn back on your own head, man. For the blood that you shed, mainly of the children of Israel here in this land. So now your blood is going to be spilled. All right? Because you delight in war. All right? The Lord's going to put a heavy spirit back on these other nations of war. And that's also prophetic as well. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is turning them up, man. That's why they're not afraid. They're not afraid of this devil anymore, man. And you know what? Let's get that. We'll end it off with that right there. That's why all these nations are gathering together, because they're preparing themselves. China, North Korea, all right, Russia, Venezuela has gathered up their troops as well, man. You saw it like in that clip. They're getting their weapons and everything ready. They're not, because they're about to fight. We're closer than ever, brothers. So this is Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, which is a farming instrument. So they're transferring all their peace weapons into weapons of war. And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. The weak was these other nations, man. And Venezuela, that's our people, man. That's Jake. That's Israelites over there. And so the Lord is stirring it up all over the place, man. And everybody's going to be pointing at America, Babylon the Great. This is just the beginning stages of it, man. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. All right? It's going to be those missiles, man. Complete destruction that's going to happen. But the Lord right now, we're in, like I stated, we're in the rumors part, the talks is ramping up. All right? America's still trying to make it seem like everybody else is the bad guy but themselves. But because of the internet, that's becoming to be false. That's being debunked. It's been debunked. And now they're showing who the true devil of the planet is, man. And if you follow their ways, you're never going to know peace following these devils, man, because they don't know it. And so I'm going to end it off right there, brothers and sisters. I pray, Lord willing, you were edified in the spirit, giving all the praise, honor, and infinite glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH, and double honor to the beloved apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect.